Hello, thank you for tuning in to my official YouTube channel. I am Reverend MeeLing, Reverend Susan MeeLing, Lady MeeLing, Lady Dori Belle. I've been known by a lot of names. It really does depend on where I've known you, if I've known you, as to what name you knew me by. So, like, share, comment in the section below, subscribe to my official YouTube channel. And so this is part 2 in reference of what occurred as far as the different aspects of when the United States of America's Armed Forces, Army branch, contacted me about my now dead ex-husband. So in the part 1, I left off in regards to the flag folding ceremony, discussing certain points in regards of the enlisted soldiers that were there for the 21 gun salute, as well as the flag folding, and the prior points too. So after that particular point in time, in that reference, after the rest of the funeral aspects that I had described, when it was, I think it was Sunday, that there was a little bit more time with some of the individuals in Fort Worth before driving back to San Antonio with my son and my daughter, and, Cactus Jack, also known as Jeffrey Kirkendall Jr. So, getting back to my house in San Antonio, I received a phone call. I think it was either Saturday or Sunday, that had told me, the individual who called, said I needed to go to the MP station, or the military police station, at Fort Sam Houston. Okay. I will be there. So I showed up, and I had a whole bunch of questions, like, why didn't my children get to have the memorial service at Fort Sam Houston with the Warrior Transition Unit? That was what was in my thoughts. And then by that point, it was, why did my now dead ex-husband get a Bronze Star awarded when he was denied a Purple Heart from his commander in Iraq after the Chief Warrant Officer 3 informed everybody, well, attempted to inform everybody, but it wound up being just me that he discussed that with because of that stuff with my ex-sisters-in-law. So if he was denied all of that from his commander in Iraq, why did Fort Sam Houston award him a Bronze Star? Why? So, just a couple of questions, not forgetting, like, a whole bunch of others. So, in regards of, my son and my daughter, making sure they were okay. So, I go to Fort Sam Houston. I checked into the military police station, and the police officer, military police officer behind the counter said, "Oh, you're you." And I was like, "Yes, I am." Gave him my military ID. He did the whole checking thing, so on and so forth. And he said, "Okay, the office, I don't remember whether he said the officer or the agent will be with you shortly." Okay. I go and sit down. I hear a car pull up. In walks a civilian-dressed individual. No. I take it back. My mistake. I was in the civilian dress. That guy was in military uniform. Do. Guy comes over to me and goes, "You Susan?" "Yeah, hi. How you doing?" "Mind stepping outside with me?" "Sure." "What you want to talk about?" "I'm waiting for somebody who wants to speak with me." That'd be me. "Oh, hi." "What do you want to talk about?" "Can we step outside?" "Sure. Let's go outside. I could use a cigarette anyway." "You're gonna smoke." "Am I not allowed to?" I didn't say that." "Okay. So I'm gonna smoke." So step outside, light up a cigarette, and the guy's just looking at me. He's like, "Are you really smoking a cigarette?" "Yeah." Well, this is an e-cigarette, but then I was smoking an actual cigarette. And I'm like, "So how's your day going?" Okay. "Just okay. Did you have a good weekend?" "Yeah." "Oh, okay. Well, what did you do this last weekend?" "Well, whatever he did that weekend." "Oh, okay. Well, what did you do last weekend?" "Well, there were some things that occurred." I didn't giggle at that point in time. It was one of those. There were some things that occurred when I was in a car on the way to Fort Worth. Confused right now, so. Dealt with some stuff. Got to see a whole bunch of brass. "Oh, what type of brass?" Brass? Like what? It was that silent. It was. I'm very confused. Okay, so I lit up another cigarette because I was so confused. I was just like, all right, well, I had like 2 or 3 cigarettes. And then the guy was like, "So, after that cigarette," "Yeah." "After you finish that cigarette, we need to get in the car and go over to CID. Criminal Investigation Division?" "Yes." "It's the MP station." "It is." "I was told that I needed to go to the MP station." "Yeah." "If I needed to go to the CID station, I would have gone to the CID station." "What?" "If I needed to go to the CID station, I would have just drove there. You could have just told me and I would have gone there." "You would have?" "Yeah." "Why?" "Oh my God." "What?" "Oh, what?" can't I just, you would have just, why don't you have another cigarette? Oh, okay. Want one? You know what? Actually, I kind of do. Okay. So we had like 2 or 3 cigarettes more together. So you would have just drove over to the CID station if I told you that. Oh, were you the one who called me? Whoever called you, yeah. Yeah. Why wouldn't I? Really? Uh-huh. Do you know what CID is? Yes! Yes, I do. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Do you have a military background? Yeah, I kind of do. I mean, I didn't graduate basic training. I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000. But I got, emancipated. So that way I could join the United States of America's Armed Forces Army Branch. Oh my God. What? So you were in the Army? Yeah, I just didn't finish basic training because I had the head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000 in basic training. And so I'm medically retired from the Army. Oh my God. What? So you know what CID is? Yes. When I was in medical hold unit, kind of spoke with some guys in CID. You did? Have you not read my file? You have a file? I joined the Army, so I probably have a file. You have a file? Yes, I do. Well, what's in your file? Probably that I fought to get emancipated to join at the age of 17. You joined at 17? Yes. How'd you join at 17? I fought to get emancipated to join the Army. You did? I just said that. Yeah, but how old are you? I was born in 1982. Like, what? Oh, okay. So, how were you 17 and you joined the Army? I fought to get emancipated from my biological parents so that way I could join the Army after a whole bunch of other stuff. What year was that? Now, I wanted to say, I had a dream of Palm Sunday in 2000. What year is 2000? However, instead, I said, I was in basic training in 2000. But that was before 2001. Yes. Where'd you grow up? New Jersey. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh my God. Yes. So you done with your cigarette? Yeah, just, you know. You ready to go? Yeah, uh-huh. Did you just field strip your cigarette? Do you not know how to field strip a cigarette? No, you just didn't finish basic training. Yes. How do you know how to field strip a cigarette? I just do. Ready to go? Yeah, okay. So we got in the car. Drive from the MP station on Fort Sam Houston to the Criminal Investigation Division on Fort Sam Houston. Those who are stationed at Fort Sam Houston know that distance. So we pull in the parking lot. I'm like, so we couldn't just walk. Nobody in the army walks. And he just kind of looks at me. He's like, haha, funny. I'm like, no, I'm serious. Like, not that far. Again, I could have, but whatever. So I get into the CID area, and he goes, okay, I need to see your ID. Okay. What's so funny? Oh, you know. We're in the CID office and you need to see my ID. Here. What's so funny? Here you can see my ID in the CID office. He looks it over, he does the scanning thing and whatever, and well, here's your ID back. So thank you, CID agent, for giving me my ID back in the CID office. What's so funny? You just saw my ID in the CID office. Get it? No. Okay. I still find it funny because, you know, the CID agent needed to see my ID in the CID office. I have a twisted sense of humor. I don't deny that, but, you know, come on now. I still think it's funny, obviously. And so we go to the back, and I get taken to this room that has a very obvious two-way mirror. Very obvious. And so there's this long desk and very long window that was the equivalent of almost the entire wall. But it was reflective. It was like the entire like lengthwise. And it was about like this height, which is about 3 feet. And it was a little longer than 5 feet wide. And it's like, huh, okay. And so there's this metal desk, and there were these 2 chairs on one side that were the closest to the two-way mirror, and then the 1 chair on my side. And so the CID agent in the CID office who saw my ID said, sit in here. Okay. In comes 2 different guys, and they asked me a whole bunch of questions. And so I asked them a whole bunch of questions, and we go back and forth. And then after about like an hour and a half, they got frustrated, and so then they left. Okay, well, you know. In comes two more CID agents. Hello, we're so... Okay, hi. They asked me a bunch of questions. I asked them a bunch of questions. We answer each other's questions. They get frustrated. They leave. Okay. In comes two more CID agents in the CID office. They didn't ask to see my ID. In the CID office. And so, you know, they asked me a bunch of questions. I asked them a bunch of questions. We answered back and forth. And then one guy, this captain, he had braces on his teeth. He had a shaved head. And he puts his hands real grrr on the table. And he goes, I got something to show you. Now, in my head, I was wondering, is the CID agent going to show me his ID in the CID office? I knew better than to say that, though. And so, in my head, that's all I'm thinking. Am I going to see some ID? Because I am that way. And so, the gurrar, and I think he was a captain, he just goes out the office or interrogation room. And, you know, comes back in and he has a laptop. You gonna show me what? What are you gonna show me? At that point, the E7 funeral director, who had been direct ordered not to show up to the E5 funeral of my now dead ex-husband, walks into the CID office. I wonder if he had to show his ID to the CID agents. I am that way. I just found it funny. It is what it is. Nonetheless, he sits down and he's like, I don't think we should do this. And I'm like, oh, okay, are we doing a good cop, bad cop? What's going on? What's going on here, you guys? And the guy, the big gurrar one with the braces on his teeth and the shaved head, he's like, no, I'm going to show her. So this is show and tell time? Okay. I did not say that out loud. In my head, I was thinking, is this show and tell time? In the CID office. And so... Guy Gurrar opens up the laptop and he goes, I want you to see this. Okay. You are going to answer our questions. I thought I did. Okay. Wait, what? So... he shows me a slideshow of the different angles of how whoever it was that was the individuals who took the pictures of my now dead ex-husband in his barracks room. There was a maroon color lamp that was off to the side and knocked over on a light colored nightstand. Goes through the different angles. I look over at the CID agents. I did not ask to see their IDs. And the one guy, the Gurrar guy, he goes, so what do you have to say about that? I tell you what, I guarantee you that guy did not see what was about to come out of my mouth coming at all. The E7 funeral director just, oh my God, what? And just, oh, By the way, he was an E8 then. Got promoted. Congratulations on your promotion. Oh my God, what? Okay. So, the Gurrar guy, while the other one was being quiet. Gurrar guy, what do you have to say about seeing these pictures? I leaned back in the chair. And I look at the guy and I said, well, I want to thank you, I guess. Is that what I'm supposed to tell you? That Gurrar guy, what? I said 2 words. Thank you. What is the problem with me saying thank you? Gurrar guy. Well, you need to tell me why you said thank you. Oh, well, I was gonna, but okay. So, thank you for showing me that. Because I was kind of wondering whether or not the body in the casket was actually my dead ex-husband because of the string that my daughter found hanging out from behind his ear. And so I had to kneel down to where my daughter was looking and see that there was a string coming out right behind his ear that was tied up. So what was it? You know, was that how the embalming goes nowadays? Is that how that goes? Is that the way? And that guy, the Gurrar guy, goes, what did you just say? Is that how embalming goes in this era? Did you just say embalming? Yes, I did. So, what is the problem? What is the big deal? Like, why, like, I am appreciative that you are showing me that, because it shows me that you actually did, like, find his dead body. He is dead, and, like, if you ever get to learn of how that was when he was alive, you will understand that. Well, where were you? I was in the other part of the city. I hadn't seen him in 2 days. And that was a question that I had repeatedly been asked and answered. And so, Gurrar, yeah, but you're not answering my questions now. Because first and foremost, you know that it is going against the protocol for you to show me these pictures. It does not matter that I am medically retired from the Army for you to show me these pictures. By protocol of the United States of America's Armed Forces, you are not supposed to show a civilian that. Now, are you? I'm just saying, you are technically not supposed to show me that as a civilian. I'm not living on post. That is a very different aspect. I live off post, which means you do not have the legal authority to actually show me those images. On top of that, you know, and I go down this list, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and yeah, what, I'm just wondering, why are you showing me this other than to verify that my dead ex-husband is dead? What's the big deal? And, well, you need to answer this. Answer what? I did. What more do you want from me? I cannot tell a lie, so, you know, I'm like, what more do you want from me? And the guy just, well, I'm done here, and he shuts the laptop, and I'm like, does that mean I can go? And yes. Okay. Again, thank you. Although, if it was just to show me those pictures, Could have started out with that. And that guy, gurra, gurra, gurra. Okay. Uh-huh, yeah, well. You guys have a good one. I did not do that. In my head, I was doing that. So, leave with the now E8 funeral director. And he and I get in his car. He takes me back to the MP station from the CID station. He didn't need to see my ID at the CID station. I know why. Nonetheless, get to my car, and the guy's like, I'm sorry that you had to see that. Why? You didn't do that. Yeah, but, you actually are correct. They shouldn't have shown you that. I was like, well, it is what it is at this point. Can't undo it. And so the E7, now E8, had gone, well, you weren't upset by that. Why would I be? Because it was a dead body. Oh. Where I grew up, that's what was shown to me are just pictures. It's not the exact same as where I grew up. And so I have a whole bunch more questions now, though. Why was I shown those pictures when I should not have been? However, that is what it is. That is what it is at this point. At least I got to know that, they actually did find his body on post, blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay. Anything else? Nope. Oh my God. What? Nothing. You have a good one. You too. I drove, I think, over to what is now Warrior Transition Unit, and I started asking questions. And more questions, and more questions, and then it was a week or two where at that I went from the platoon sergeant or the squad leader to the platoon sergeant to the company commander to the brigade commander. And then when I got to the brigade commander, Major Rosas did not like my attitude, which it really is. Realistically, I wasn't giving an attitude. I was just asking questions that he didn't have answers for. And he didn't like the fact that I had the correct questions, and he didn't want to give me those answers. So instead of being, whatever, he threw a attitude, which did not assist that situation. And so, I just, okay, well, if you don't want, well, okay. At one point in time, I don't remember who it was I was speaking with, but it was still in Warrior Transition Unit area. Whoever it was, whatever brass it was, well, what's the worst that someone like you could do? Oh. In my thoughts, you did not ask to see my ID. I am not the dependent. So, from there, I went all sorts of different areas around Fort Sam Houston, I got these questions. What's going on? So on and so forth, various things, because it was one of those, why is it that I was asked all this on top of all the other things, and the memorial, because that's where it started. Every time I went to a new place, why were my children, my son and my daughter, unable to go to the memorial, seeing, this sort of stuff in regards to, and so on and so, and up and up and up and up the chain of command. Only one time did my now ex-boyfriend then Cactus Jack, also known as Jeffrey Kirkendall Jr., go with me when I went to the JAG office. He was like, oh, I really, really want to go to the JAG office. Why? Get it? Because, it's a JAG office. Yeah. Don't say that in there. And he just, what are you doing? This is not a laughing matter. This is not a joke. There is a lot of stuff going on that you obviously do not understand, nor do you comprehend. So, shut it. And he just, well, you can't talk to me like that. Whoo! You do not understand, do you? Understand what? You do not understand that my dead ex-husband is no longer here for him to enforce for you to keep my attitude in check. So, don't open your mouth like that when on post. Because I have stuff that I have to do to make sure my children are squared away. Got it? And, yeah, that's right. Recognize the fact that you do not have backup. You do not have my now dead ex-husband to enforce for you, because that was the only way you were able to get away with what you did, as far as to me. You don't have that anymore. You don't have that whatsoever. And Cactus Jack, also known as Jeffrey Kirkendall Jr., oh my God, Susan, yes, what? Okay. So, go over to the JAG, or Justice Assistance, or Justice Attorney General, or whatever it is in that regard. Go over there, and let me see who I need to speak with. Oh, okay, Colonel Sheridan, that's who I need to speak with. Okay, go in, walk in. Yeah, I need to speak with Colonel Sheridan. And the secretary there said, he's in Washington, D.C. Well, who's the next in the chain of command? Well, a colonel happened to be there at that time when I was speaking with the secretary. And the colonel said, oh, I can speak with you on behalf of Colonel Sheridan. Okay, let's go. And so we go into his office, and he was sitting in the leather chair. I was sitting on the couch. Cactus Jack was on the other side. I think he was dumb enough to even wear that stupid 151 t-shirt on post, which was just... And so he's off to the very, very far left side. I'm sitting closest to the colonel with the little end table in between us. And so, the colonel's speaking with me, and after probably about an hour, he goes, I probably should have asked some questions beforehand. And I asked the colonel, I go, like what? And he said, I don't think I should have technically brought you into my office. Why is that? I can't put it into words. Why not? There are some legalities. Oh, such as, well, I guess that's all out the window, so, what can I help you with? And I was like, well, what are you talking about? I legally shouldn't have been speaking with you. Do you understand that? Why weren't you supposed to legally be speaking with me? You're in the JAG office, correct? Yes, I'm in the JAG office. So what's the problem? And you went to CID? Yep, spoke with Criminal Investigation Division. They saw my ID. And so, we go back and forth, and I discuss a few things, and then he says, well, what's the worst thing in regards to, this situation and in reference to your children? The fact that my children no longer have their biological father around ish. He goes, touche. And I'm like, well, just they didn't get to see the memorial service as more of importance in that regard. So that will be another one. And touche. And that was his actual response. Touche was actually his response to me. And so I go on and on, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, just list everything down. And at one point he goes, were you born a lawyer? No, but I've received that question so many times. That being said, Colonel, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, da, 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 and he just, oh, okay. All right. And, well, may I ask you a couple questions? Sure. What you got, Colonel? He goes, well, where were you when, he died? Oh, I hadn't seen him in 2 days. The schedule that had been set up is during Monday through Friday, he would be at Fort Sam Houston going and doing his, appointment stuff. On Friday, I would go to where Warrior Transition Unit is with my son and my daughter and, that. And, pick up my now dead ex-husband, then just ex-husband, and sometimes speak with some of the soldiers in Warrior Transition Unit and sometimes not. And then we'd either go back to my house in San Antonio or we'd drive to Fort Worth for him to spend time with his family. Why? You did that? And he's your ex-husband? Now dead ex-husband, but yes. Why? Because I didn't want to be the stereotypical ex-wife. What do you mean? And so I explained that stuff, and I explained why I had chosen in reference to the aspects of the funeral aspects being in Dallas Fort Worth National Cemetery compared to San Antonio, and several other aspects well before his death. And the colonel was just, so you actually fought for him to actually be a part of their lives. Yes, I did. Despite the fact that he was what he was in reference to me, I was wanting, to not be the stereotypical ex-wife. I did everything I could to make sure that there was never an ability for my now dead ex-husband to ever say that I kept my children, which, yes, biological, but nonetheless, away from him. I wanted to make sure that my son and my daughter knew that despite how that was, I never denied my son and my daughter the ability to have that. If he chose to not want to have that, which he did, that was on him and him alone. He would never be able to, if he had actually lived, nonetheless, never be able to say that I did anything to keep my son and my daughter away from him. Same thing with my ex-in-laws. And so I explained that whole thing, and he was just, oh my God, you did that? Yes. Why? Isn't that a thing? For you, apparently that is a thing. Yeah. Why should my son and my daughter have to suffer in that regard just because of the garbage that was, as far as my now dead ex-husband? Why? And what were his thoughts and feelings when he was alive? Oh, well, I said I wanted to make sure that that was the ability. And the colonel was like, yeah, well, my now dead ex-husband did not reciprocate in that regard. So, unfortunately for my son and my daughter, they will have memories of him pushing them away. And so I do not talk bad about him, even during the first separation, not forgetting during the final separation before his death at that time a couple weeks ago. However, now it's been since however many years from 2008. Nonetheless, and this is the 2nd of June 2020, to the colonel I'm speaking with, I'm in the clear. I did everything I could to attempt to give that time to my son and my daughter. I know that there's going to be certain issues that arise here and there. However, I did everything I could. It was not my fault, nor is it my fault, that he chose to be as he chose to be. So, it might come across as weird, I guess, apparently, because that's the energy I'm picking up from you, Colonel, that you are kind of like, this is weird. And he said, yeah, you are accurate. This is very weird. Oh my God. Yes, Colonel, what? Go ahead. Just go ahead. And so we spoke and stuff like that. And I even told him about how when my then ex-husband, now dead ex-husband, was over in Iraq, I had actually driven my son and my daughter out to Fort Worth so that way they'd be able to spend time with my ex-in-laws. That way they didn't have that. Now, they did not drive to on a consistent basis at all, like whatsoever. And as far as my biological family, that was a back and forth. I fought to be emancipated, to get into the army, and not only when I got emancipated to do that, I was disowned. Like, it wasn't just the emancipation. They disowned me from the entire family. And those who were in Illinois at the time when I had left would be able to discuss whatever it was they said as far as after I went to basic training. Because before I went to basic training, after the emancipation paperwork was signed and all that stuff, my biological mother would go on about, oh, you ruined everything. No. Maybe, like, your ideas of what you thought I was going to be, but that's your issues, not mine. Oh, you're destroying your sister's life. No, she's doing a perfectly fine job of that all by herself. Do not blame that on me either, by the way. You can't do that. And you're only mad because you cannot blame me to my biological father, Mike. You can't blame me for whatever goes wrong that you do. Just like Patricia will not be able to blame me for what she does wrong to you or to Mike. That's what you are actually mad at. And so I explained that to the colonel, and at that time we were still not speaking. We had multiple times where we would speak, we wouldn't speak, we'd speak, we wouldn't speak, and it just water just out, done. Just okay, that's your choice. I got along with Mike here and there as long as Anna and Patricia weren't involved. However, the second Anna and Patricia would get around, there were the issues. Instantly, as soon as either one of them would walk into the vicinity that Mike and I were talking in, instantly, issues, problems, attitude, arguments, all that sort of stuff. Only when it came to Anna, my biological mother, and Patricia, my biological sister. When they weren't there, no problems. We'd have disagreements, but it wouldn't be like the way it was when they'd come around. And so, speaking with the colonel at that point, discussing various things, we go on, and he was just, oh my God, you did that? Like, because I explained the aspects of the funeral rites as well, and he just, oh wow. I was like, yeah, I told that priest. I did. I told that priest. And my ex-sisters-in-law were complaining. Oh, they were complaining because it wasn't in the cathedral. Yeah, they were mad. They were so mad. Not my problem. Nonetheless, Colonel, da-da-da. So we finished talking, and he's like, yeah, so I can't talk with you anymore about this. Oh, why not? Technically, I shouldn't have just spent this amount of time speaking with you. I'm going to have to contact Colonel Sheridan. Oh, why? Can't really disclose that to you. Why? Well, you spoke with CID. Yeah, what about it? You said that there was an issue as to why it was the final separation? Yeah, a lot of them. If you ever find out, like, what that was when he was alive, you'd understand that, I did everything I could for my son and my daughter. However, I didn't see him for 2 days. Didn't speak with him for 2 days. Had nothing to do with him for 2 days. That was the end of it. Other than that, as far as that week was concerned, my plans were as they were. Going to pick him up on Friday for the weekend and then drop him off on Sunday. However, and I did tell the colonel about the discussion as far as IRR and the arguments and stuff like that. So then, I made my way up the rest of the chain of command at Fort Sam Houston. And I did tell that colonel about the 4 meat tags in his office. Told him about that. And he was like, 4? Yes. Why 4? 1 was his, 3 were people that he claimed he knew. And I told him to get it blacked out. Told him his meat tag, that was one thing. Having the 4 other ones, he needed to get that blacked out. He didn't want to listen to me. Why not? Because what would I know since I didn't graduate basic training? Colonel looked at me, oh my God, yeah, what? I don't even know what to say. Okay, so several weeks go and just went to EO, went to IG, went to all these different areas around the base, making my way up the chain of command, made it to the garrison commander's office, and then the BAMC commander's office, which meant the 2-star general. Getting up there, well, gonna need a little prop on that one in that regard, but it is a book that I wrote that you can get from my website. It has the links, www.susanmeeling.com. Find the link in the information tab. So I get to the general's office, I walk in, and general secretary, looks at my ID, not in the CID office, but looks at my ID nonetheless. And, oh, well, the general's in a meeting right now. Yeah, okay. So when is he going to be done? Oh, I don't know. Sure, okay. So, I'll just sit down and wait. Well, it could be all day. Oh, okay. I'll still sit and wait because he has to come back to his office. So I'll just sit and wait. So I go and I sit down and I start reading. I'm just like, do, 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 do. And, all right. And this guy comes up and he's like, hey, what's going on? How you doing, buddy? Do I know you? Okay. Oh, we're friends. We've hung out before. Is that what you're telling? Well, you know what I mean. No, I don't. Well, why don't you tell me why you're here to see the general? I do not see stars on your uniform. So what? You are not the general. You could tell me why you're here to see the general. You do not have stars on your uniform. Is that really a big deal? I'm here to see the general. You are an E6. You are not a general. Oh, you could tell me. Or not. Guy walks off. I continue reading. Just do, 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 do. Bigger guy. Bigger guy. I'm 5'4". I think he was like 6'5". And he comes over and he pushes my book down. Or magazine. Yes. You're gonna tell me why you're here to see the general. I do not see stars on your uniform. You are going to tell me blah, blah, blah. Are you a general? No, but you're going to tell me rah, rah, rah. Okay, so that guy was the good cop and you're the good rah, bad cop. Is that how's that going to go? Is that going to go this way? Rah, rah, rah. You're going to tell me. You're going to tell me. You're going to tell me. You're not the general. Rah, 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 rah. I'm going to tell you what. Rah, 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 rah. What? Do you know what I see when I look at you and hear you all rah, rah, rah? What? Rah, rah, rah. I see a little fluffy kitty that just fits in my palm. It's a little kitty. Just a little kitty. Little kitty. Got your little belly. Little kitty. Who's your fluffy? Got your little paws. Little kitty. You fluffy kitty. You sweet little kitty. That Gerard guy. Oh, you need snuggle? You need snuggle? You need snuggle? You need snuggle, kitty, snuggle. Snuggle. You need to tell me why you're here to see the general. Oh my God. Yes? I'm here to see the general. You are not the general. Fluffy, fluffy. Snaggle, snaggle. Anything else? No. Okay. Go back to reading. Magically, just out of the blue, I guess pun intended, the 2-star general walks in, pretends not to see me. I know you see me. Hair cutter. in a military base? Yeah, I know you saw me. You had to pretend. You had to practice that before you even walked through the door. That door is made of glass with a wood frame. I know you saw me. And I know your secretary told you that I was here. I know there was the grr mean guy, rah, kitty, 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 because friendly couldn't get me to tell him what he wanted to know. And so you're just gonna go and pretend that you didn't see my hair in this military base. Sure, okay, I'm gonna read it. And 3, 2, 1. Yes, General, are you ready to meet? Yes, I want, you're here to see me? Yes. So we go into his office. And he, shuts the door. He sits behind his big wooden desk with his, bookcase behind him and stuff like that. And he's like, so, how can I help you? And A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And, memorial service. And by that time, because of the amount of individuals that I had to go speak with, it started out with in reference to the memorial service that my children, my son and my daughter, would be able to go to. Because of the way everything went, why was my now dead ex-husband on 27 different medications? Why was he awarded the Bronze Star after being denied a Purple Heart? The Bronze Star is still above a Purple Heart, right? I was there to, and you were one of the ones who awarded that. See, he got himself in trouble on that one. Oh, so why is it that you wanted to award him the Bronze Star when his unit commander in Iraq said that he didn't even earn the Purple Heart? So what did he do in medical hold unit? It's not medical hold unit, it's warrior transition unit. You can put whatever fluffy bunny rump ranging, I don't care, sugar-coated sprinkles on it with a cherry on top. It is still medical hold, because when I was in medical hold unit and warrior transition unit, there were guys who were playing poker using pills for chips, which is still going on. Why have you not done anything about that? And what about the females who have had issues about assault? Well, they get some counseling. Oh, they just get counseling. That's what it is. How much counseling do they get to make sure that they are actually squared away? You're doing what? And that's only while they're in. What about when they get out? How about that? How about when they're dealing with all the other stuff on all this sort of stuff? You want to this is a medical hold unit. I don't give a damn. And you want to rump range, I don't care. And then he got offended and he was like, I worked with General Shinseki on that name. Uh-huh. Why am I supposed to care about that? I reiterate, the guys in Warrior King Unit, he did not like when I said it that way. I didn't care. The guys in Warrior Transition Unit know that from the time before they were in Warrior Transition Unit to being in Warrior Transition Unit and the comparison. So they know that they have been broken in certain regards because of their injuries that led them to war. And you don't have to say it like they know. You sugarcoating that, you doing that, or not, but that sort of thing, that doesn't help them. How does that prepare them not only for if they are able to go back into active duty status or wherever they are, as far as where they came from, but what about when they get out of the military? What about when they don't have to deal with... They will still know what they deal with. And you want to go, is that how, do you think that's how the civilian sector is going to treat them? Because I can tell you right now, that is not, and they need to be prepared for that. But I gave you, oh, you gave a Bronze Star. You gave a Bronze Star. Again, the commander from Iraq said he didn't earn a Purple Heart. You know that he stole valor in regards to his dress blues. And you gave him a Bronze Star? Do you see a problem with that, General? You're a royal fucking cunt. His words verbatim. I leaned back in the chair and he just, yeah. Thank you. What? Thank you. Thank you, General. I called you a royal fucking cunt. You did. You did. Why are you looking like that? Oh. Let me explain this to you, General. Have you ever heard of Article whatever it is for conduct unbecoming of an officer? You're a how many star? Oh, my bad. Major General. Nonetheless. So you are a high-ranking officer in your uniform, correct? Yeah. We're in your office. On a military installation. Yeah. You are in uniform? Yeah. Civilian, right? Yeah. But hey, I genuinely do mean thank you. I genuinely do. Why? Oh. Because it's going to be very difficult for anybody. Not that it wasn't already extremely difficult. But I've been called many names. And I will tell you, that one does take the cake. I do appreciate it. Because, well, it's not every day that a civilian can say that they've been called a royal fucking cunt in a 2-star general's office when fighting for my children to be able to have a memorial service where they get to see the individuals from the base their biological father was stationed at. And the 2-star general that called me a royal fucking cunt did so because I brought to that 2-star general's attention of all the issues that were going on in medical hold that are still going on. Then that 2-star general goes and says, well, this isn't medical hold unit anymore. Again, that doesn't change anything. That actually just makes it worse, just because you change the name instead of fixing the problems. You are just putting a Band-Aid on things when you need to cauterize the wound so that way it can actually heal. Because that's not helpful to not just the current soldiers, or even the ones that were in medical hold unit, to when they transition actually into the civilian sector. So, fix it, repair it, and let actual stuff go forward. But again, thank you. I hope I never forget this moment, but I also hope you don't either. Is that it? Is that all you have to say? I suppose my next question is, are my children going to get that memorial service for their father, biologically? I don't know if I can make that happen. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, well, thank you for your time, General. I have a feeling I'm going to be seeing you very, very soon. Are you coming back to my office? Oh, probably. But my children are going to get their memorial service. I am a mom. How would your mom be if the situation were in... Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. And what would she say to you for calling me what? Oh, my God. Yeah. So you don't want to fix this? Like right now, you'd prefer me to keep going? What can you do? After you did call me what? Well, I'm the General of Bamsey. Oh. So you think that there's nobody above you? Because you're the General of Bamsey? Well, I'm the General of Bamsey. We'll see about that, General. You have a good one. I'll see you shortly. I went left. The gurrar. You have a good one. I have a feeling they were at the door going, oh, no, he did. The friendly one was like, hey, you have a good one. That's cool. And so then I contacted the senator for the state of Texas at that time, along with the White House, about Fort Sam Houston. And then I also contacted the My San Antonio Express newspaper. And a couple weeks later, my children were able to go to a memorial service for their dead father at Fort Sam Houston in Brooke Army Medical Center's chapel in the basement where the food court is. Fantastic. So go there, that whole thing, up on the stage, the general, brigadier general, or major general speaking and all that sort of stuff. The soldiers are in the different areas. And then, the General Gilman goes and says, so if anybody has anything they want to say, here's the podium, and he walks off the platform, and before he finished walking all the way down the aisle, thank you, General Gilman. I greatly appreciate the fact that after everything that occurred, my son and my daughter were actually able to finally have that memorial service at Fort Sam Houston, which they were denied because of what occurred when I got that phone call saying that the chaplain was too busy for the day that I had set up on Monday for my son and my daughter to go to the memorial service in regards to Warrior Transition Unit. I greatly appreciate that, General Gilman. And he just, and you could see on his face where he was like, I meant anybody but her. Too late. Just specified. And then it was, thank you guys. And all of them who were all like, I don't really want to be here. They all real quick said, what? And you guys, I apologize because apparently General Gilman didn't want to do certain things because I had to go from warrior transition units like platoon sergeant and then company and then commander. And I explained the whole thing in a much more condensed version in comparison. And I did this and I did that. And so, thank you for giving in this regard. So that way my son and my daughter are able to have this. But so that way you guys are educated and you guys know this is what I had to go through. So that way you guys can get squared away. I do appreciate your time. I am very grateful for your service to the country of the United States of America. However, since the general said, anybody who wants to take the stand, I took the stand. And you could, if you were from where I was standing, you could see a couple soldiers go. Sort of thing. It was like, and finished up, and then afterwards, finished up, and I'm like, does anybody have anything that they actually want to say on the stand? And all right, well, you guys have a good one. James and Lydia, come on. And so they followed me to the area where General Gilman was, and I stood there next to him, and I go, hi, General. And so then, there was the music, and the soldiers, as they walked out, they did the you better shake their hands. And so, each one of them did their little salute, and then they shook their hand, like, here you go. And so did that whole thing. And then afterwards, thanks, General Gilman, you have a good one. But I did not bring up the fact that I was called a royal fucking cunt in his office. That wasn't what was of importance anyway. In that point in time, it realistically wasn't. So, a few weeks go by. I get an email from General Gilman. And General Gilman informed me that the colonel and the unit from Iraq were returning to Texas from their tour of duty. Do you want to meet with them? Absolutely I do. That'd be fantastic, General Gilman. Let me know when you're going to set up that meeting in your office for me to be there to meet with the colonel who is getting back from Iraq. Fantastic. Thank you very much. You have a good day. Respectfully, Susan. Or whatever it was that I said. I was informed when General Gilman had set up the meeting for the colonel and I to speak. I show up to Brooke Army Medical Center, now San Antonio Medical Center, and go up to the general's office on the 5th floor and walk in and, hi, I didn't have to show my ID. It was not CID office. Nonetheless, I'll sit down and wait. General Gilman calls me in. He's like, so, they're here. Okay. Walk in and, hi, this is Colonel Sheridan, and these are his two. Nice to meet you, nice to meet you, nice to meet you. Thank you for your office, General Gilman. You can see your way out the door. What? Oh, you said that you wanted to arrange a meeting with the colonel who was stationed in Iraq. And you did that. I am thanking you for arranging the meeting for the colonel and I, General Gilman. You know where the door is to your office. Thank you. Now, if he had asked me, can I stay? I would have said yes. But he didn't. So he walked outside the door and I shut it. I was respectful. I was. Turn around, look at the colonel who had his jaw proverbially to the ground, along with the two other aides that had their proverbial jaws to the ground. So, Colonel, and I think they were two different sergeants. And it's like, hey, what's going on? Let's talk about stuff. And they're just, oh my God, did you just kick? I didn't kick the general out of his office. The general told me that he could arrange a meeting for you, Colonel, and I to meet. And he just so happened to say in his office, so we are in the general's office. Please have a seat. Oh, okay. Sure. Now here's where I made a mistake. And it really was, because there are guys who understand this. So the colonel and then the two sergeants and I are speaking about various things. They ask me questions, I ask them questions, we answer each other's questions, so on and so forth. And then I said, well, I have something for you, Colonel. And I really quickly moved to my backpack. That was a ladybug backpack. That was not clear plastic. It was a ladybug backpack that was pink and red with little polka dots on it and little antennae, and I reach real quick for it and I hear click, click, click. I am an idiot. I apologize. I am stupid. You guys have not been on the soil for the United States of America for even 7 days. I apologize. I should know better. I did not mean to do that to you guys. I am so sorry. I am so dumb. And so I keep my hands up and my head down. And I'm my bad. My bad. And so I slowly take my leg to take my foot and kick over the backpack. I'm like, I apologize. You guys obviously have been in a war zone, and that was my fault for moving so fast and saying I have something for you. I'm dumb. I'm stupid. I apologize. And I hear one that unclicked. And I hear another that unclicked. And then the third one goes unclick. And they said, just do that really, really, really slowly. No problem. I can go slow. I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000. I know slow. They didn't get that joke at the time. And so I went to unzip the bag, and I was going so slow that after a while they were just like, just unzip it. Like you just like, it took like 10 minutes to get like an inch open. And like, okay, thank you. And I pulled out the green folder with the gold emblem that had the certificate in it, with the green rectangle box that had white interior with the bronze star. Handed it to the colonel. And he goes, "What is this?" And I said, "That was given to me, as well as my ex-in-laws, in reference to my dead ex-husband. I read your words that said my dead ex-husband did not earn a Purple Heart and did nothing that warranted such. I had a Chief Warrant Officer 3 ask me what I knew about those dress blues, and he pointed out several different stolen valor aspects. I know that this was a cover-up in regards to that sort of stuff. I was not offended by that at all in regards to the Chief Warrant Officer 3 and the truth in that regard. What I was offended by is that general giving that bronze star when I knew all of that, not the portion about you in your words. However, I had been told that you were denying the Purple Heart before I read the words." And Colonel was looking at the box, and that is yours. I am giving that to you because of a multitude of aspects. And so this is the only way that I can make amends and apologize to not just you, but your guys for when you were in Iraq actually doing this stuff. And that particular general, along with the other one, decided to give the Bronze Star in regards to, I'm guesstimating, what the Chief Warrant Officer 3 spoke with me about. I know for a fact that my dead ex-husband was malingering. He claimed that he had shrapnel wounds. He didn't have shrapnel wounds. He claimed that he had the shrapnel wounds in his back. He didn't have that. He claimed he had a torn retina because a piece of shrapnel that hit his eye. I knew that was garbage. I knew that for a fact. He didn't show me his eyes. I acknowledge that. He wore sunglasses. That didn't mean anything, realistically, at that time. And a whole bunch of other things. He claimed that he even had shrapnel in his head, but no scar. Nope. I know for a fact. Here you go. And Colonel just was looking at it, and he goes, "Oh my God, I don't know. It's yours and your guys's, because no, I'm not going to teach my son, I'm not going to teach my daughter about stolen valor in that way. Like, that is not acceptable. I will not have that in my house. I will not have that anywhere. No, that is not acceptable. Stolen valor is not acceptable. These different aspects in regards to what the Chief Warrant Officer 3 brought up, that, go down, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And, oh my God. And so then they tried to say, well, he was a good soldier. Don't lie to me, Colonel. Okay. So we talked about a few other things, and then he told me, well, your dead ex-husband was 300 yards away from the blasting point of the mortar attack. So he was nowhere near where he could have ever gotten a piece of shrapnel, is what you just told me. Oh my God. What, Colonel? So we finished up our meeting. I went to the door. There was the general at the door. Hello, General Gilman. How are you? Well, are Are you done using my office? Yes, yes, thank you for your office, General. Which, by the way, again, in reference to General Gilman having called me a royal fucking cunt, I did not bring up to those 3 soldiers. And so, finished up there, finished everything in that regard, and I let the general know that I had given the Bronze Star to the Colonel. But I gave that to you. You were doing that to cover up, to do the equivalent of unit in regards to that. Unacceptable. You know better. And you, gentlemen, have a good day. Yeah, okay. Sure. And you think about what you did, General. Okay. That is theirs. I walked out. Left. Went back to my house in San Antonio. And realistically, aside from telling my ex-in-laws about the Bronze Star portion, about the memorial being squared away, only Grandpa Nichols was told in full detail about what occurred. I told a large portion to Tony Walker Nichols, the living ex-brother-in-law, but as far as like my ex-sisters-in-law, I told Susie Marie Nichols Lopez, I told her I wanted the other Bronze Star so that way I could give it back to the United States of America's Armed Forces Army branch. She refused. Same thing with Grandma Nichols. And then when it came to later on discussing things, Susie Marie Nichols Lopez told me she spoke with Mary Evangelina Nichols Osteen, my other ex-sister-in-law. You shouldn't have done that, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. No. Not acceptable. That was not acceptable for that to occur. Later, in 2009, when in Georgia, before going to Florida, I had taken my son, my daughter, and my niece out, spent 2 weeks away from the state of Texas. And the first week, a little bit of time in Georgia, and Mary Evangelina Nichols Osteen was upset about the Bronze Star, and I didn't care. I told her, I had told Susie Marie Nichols Lopez that I had wanted that to give back to the Army because that's where it belonged. It did not belong to their dead brother, my dead ex-husband, and do anything to earn it. Bronze Star is above a Purple Heart. 3rd highest award. Not mistaken. So, the aspects of Mary Evangelina Nichols Osteen was infuriated. She did that whole, well, bless your heart. Not even like actually like there are Southerners who can do that more not like that. She did the, well, bless your heart. And it's all in tone of voice. And she tried to tell me that she had told whoever in Congress that she knew and whoever in Senate that she knew and blah, blah, blah. And it was one of those, unacceptable. So, in that regard, I explained that. I didn't go into much detail that until later in regards to writing. I did discuss it with a few people here and there, but it was one of those, unless there was the military background and or specific understanding at minimum, I was dealing with quite a bit else to go into the other stuff. And it was just one of those, yeah, well, realistically, I made the fixes and repairs where I could, and it was up to the other guys to do what was necessary in other regards. And so,
admittedly not the most conventional way to do things.
Nonetheless, the morally and ethically correct way to do things, whether you believe it or not. But I can only tell the truth, so there is that. Anyway, you guys like, share, comment, and subscribe to my official YouTube channel, Reverend MeeLing. You guys have a good one.